If black people created new inventions at the same rate they created cool new dance moves, we would all have flying cars by now. So, a question I've been asked my entire life is, Layton, what's it like being black? And in short, being black is great. I get complimented on how well I speak whenever I go around a friend's house. I get my own personal assistant that follows me around whenever I go into a store, and people are always really enthusiastic about touching my hair. So, as I said, it's great, but there are some drawbacks. Like, have you ever realised how black people are late to everything? This is caused by a strand of DNA known as BST, and the BST strand stands for Black Standard Time, meaning that if you ask a black person to meet you for 2 o'clock, then they'll probably get there for around 2 o'clock the next day. Late to a meeting, Black Standard Time. Late to an exam, Black Standard Time. Late to following me on Twitter, Black Standard? No, there's no excuse for not following me. Following me on If you're going somewhere and there's melanin in your skin, then leave out 2 hours early or else you're not getting in on time. This next one isn't exclusively a black thing, but why, whenever I go to a black get-together, am I still meeting new family members for the first time? I've been alive for 20 years. And there's always an inherent anxiety whenever you go to one of these things because you're never really sure who's a relative and who isn't. So if you were to see someone that was a bit perhaps, you know, I'd like to take her home to meet the family, it's a bit awkward when it turns out that they're already a part of your family. It's like, oh, let me just, okay. Also, you might be naive in thinking that being black is strictly about skin tone. It isn't. Being black comes with its own set of expectations and black activities, or blacktivities if you're in a rush, that you need to be able to fulfill. So when God was cooking me up, not only did he leave the oven on a bit too long, he also gave me asthma, which means that the probability of me being able to play basketball well is the same as Donald Trump being able to run a country. It's not happening. I was raised in a fairly black household, however, I do sometimes wonder what my life would look like if I was adopted by a white family. And in a sitcom. Why are you wearing that mask? What mask? That one. The one that's on your face. Oh, this one. Well, seeing as this sketch is made to convey what your life would be like if you were adopted by a white family, this allows the audience to assume that under this mask, I'm your white mom. No, they think you're black me with a Spider-Man mask on. Anyway, I'm going round George's, so... Wait! Have you finished doing all your white family stuff? Yes. Finished the Nutella? Yes. Paid all your taxes? Yes. Drank all your Starbucks? Well, most of it. Layton, we've talked about this. You need to drink all your Starbucks to make sure you grow up big and strong. And if you're lucky, you might even be basic. Really? Really? Now get out of here, you little scamp. Thanks. Oh, one more thing before you go, actually. Yep. Have you seen my shirt? Which shirt? You're gonna need to be a bit more specific. My privilege shirt. What privilege shirt? My white privilege shirt. You're already wearing it. Oh yeah? Ayy. 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 Well, that's everything. You can go now. Cool. Bye then. He speaks so well now.
This week on the Layton Chronicles, I wanted to have a bit of a discussion, a bit of a chinwag, as it were, about race, and there's 3 reasons for that, and the first one is that I've only recently realised just how important representation in the media is. So, the second, and related to that, is within the UK YouTube scene, it's kind of difficult to find black faces or faces that fall under the people of colour umbrella, a term that I'm not fully comfortable with because it kind of makes us sound like we fell out of the birth canal of a rainbow, but what are you gonna do? So basically what I'm trying to do is compile a list of UK based, these people. So if you have any recommendations for me, please leave them in the comments down below. And the third reason tying this whole video together is my realization and conscious reversing of a little something called internalized racism. And what that looks like, basically, is a complete disregard for your cultural identity, shall we say. You never really want to be associated with the other people, so you're kind of just this... You're never really an authentic you, you're kind of just this amalgamation of things that you think will make you fit in. I watched a video by Lena Normington a few weeks ago about internalized misogyny, and she was talking about how when she was younger, or in a hypothetical when she was younger, if a guy was to come up to her and say, "You're not like other girls," in some weird, twisted way, she would get like a sense of validation, even though by saying, "You're not like other girls," it's kind of like saying, "I don't associate you with them," which is a good thing. So it's a backhanded compliment in that it's a compliment to you, but an insult to the rest of your entire denomination, similar to how I've heard people or seen people say, "You're pretty" for a black girl, and how that applies to internalized racism is that on some level you seek the validation from those who are above you, and the way that you go about getting that validation in effect is, by lying to the world about who you are. I remember when I was in year 7, a year 8 white kid came up to me and asked me if he could see the kind of music that was on my phone, because back then people would Bluetooth music to each other, back in my day. And so he was really surprised by the music that was on my phone, as he vocalized by saying something to the effect of, "Wow, I didn't expect to see this kind of music," because of the whole brown face thing. I effectively planted ways for people to toss me a metaphorical toffee of validation, as it were. "Oh, I didn't expect you to like Kings of Leon." I never listened to Kings of Leon. To this day, I still don't know what Sex on Fire means. It sounds like something you should probably go to a clinic for. But nowadays I've embraced the music of my people, so it's goodbye Sex on Fire and hello, I never fucked Wayne, I never fucked okay. What I'm saying is I was taught to not value things seen as other, and I didn't want to be identified as such, and the way that I justified and rationalized this to myself was by saying that I transcended race, or can't we all just be people, which I still agree with. We should just be people, but to not recognise the things that undoubtedly make you, you, is just a bit silly. And I'm sure to some capacity there's a label that you're not 100% comfortable with, but to an extent does define you, which is why when it comes to things like Twitter bios, we fill them with labels that scream, "This is who I am," before anybody else gets to say otherwise. When it comes to race or any other denomination, it's not the label that we're afraid of, it's the connotation, but like it or not, these labels are going to be used to define you, but that doesn't mean that it has to define you. You define the label by how you represent it. So in short, don't be ashamed of your identity, whatever that may be. Recently I've been catching up on my blackness, which has led me to start clapping whenever I laugh really hard or make it sound like I'm spraying bath cleaner from my mouth. And conversely, don't limit yourself by your identity either. You can live your life however you want to. Be a black person that likes Starbucks, be a black person that pays their taxes, be a white person that can win the 100-meter sprint, be a white person that invents cool new dance moves. Ooh! Ooh! Okay, are you ready? Are you ready for some comedy? You better be fucking... Okay, that was too intense. Like camping. That's not funny. Because intense, like... Intense, intent... Do any of us really know what we're doing? The answer is those of us that have our shit together. But they're a myth. Like, unicorns and racial equality. Being black is strictly... Also, what? We slipped into hysteria, boys and girls. And other, we're inclusive here. Alright. You know when you, like, you're a parent and a child comes home from nursery and has, like, a scribbled drawing, it's like, that's just not good. Alright. Is there something broken inside? I mean, isn't there something broken in all of us, really? Why are you watching this? To fill the void in your... Exactly. Either that or procrastinating your geography homework. One of the two. You know, I just want to get fucking shot in the face. Is that a spider? Hello? Solid. We did it. We did it. It's a wrap. It's a fucking tortilla wrap.